I'm Tina Santoro, creator of the Yonan Bo saga, an epic adventure series full of captivating characters and an immersive storytelling set in a unique world. Today, we'll begin our exploration of the Great Wars, a period in time filled with controversy, betrayal, and epic battles. So, let's not waste another second and dive straight into the Great Wars. The Great Wars refer to a significant period of conflict, primarily between the Great City and the city of Avalozon. The Great City's construction was completed after the Great Last War with Avalozon. We'll start with what is known during Yonan Bo's time, long after the wars, with many different rulers in between to twist the tales of the events in their favor. Origin and duration of the conflict. The conflict stemmed from a prolonged dispute between the two cities. Rotu, whom you met along with his friend Kazu in the opening prologue of Book 1. Both men are guards within this great city. Rotu states that he was never told the exact reason for the wars, as he was born long after the conclusion. The conflict and collapse of Avalozon. The conflict predates the completion of the Great City walls, which were finished after the Great Last War with the city of Avalozon. The Great City walls have stood for hundreds of years, ruled by many men since their construction. A tradition viewed by the head ruler as Son of the Sun dates back long before the First Wars and the Great Last War. Avalozon was established by people who had been exiled or banned from the great city for various reasons, that were then forced to make it on their own on the other side of the valley, located west of the large mountain pass that divided the two cities. The two cities fought for years, though the specific reason for the conflicts were forgotten by those born long after the wars. Rumors persist that up to this very day of plans that were made by the ruler's grand feasting table to fight the people of Avalozon. The history recorded within the great city's older journals date back to the great city's wars. The war strategy, the Ulfirmix. During the Great Wars, the people of Avalozon were fearful of the great city's growing strength and sought a way to gain an upper hand. They created a mixture called the Ulfir, intended to make warriors fearless and strong. Those who consumed the Ulfir were described as vicious warriors who could wear the skins of beasts, growling and howling and tearing apart their foes with their bare hands. The components of the Ulfir mixture include the Lopulu, Ampinua, Canbia, and Aspinu. The great city was ultimately able to defeat Avalozon because of the Ulfir mixture. Would also make the Avalozon people sick if it was not properly prepared. Historical documents and practices. That it has been well over 25 years since these wars and disputes occurred, some traditions and documents still remain. The Battle Gong Challenge recalls the songs played by the people when they are prepared to go into battle with the people of Avalozon. The reader will witness the people of Yonan Bo's time reenact the battle cry while participating in the Week of the Games. An old weaving in Jimon's family depicts images of people competing in the games that were done before the wars. The cherished item hangs on a wall within his private quarters. The wars caused Yonan Bo's ancestors to undergo significant changes, which subsequently led to the building of their own great city. Impact on the great city's people and the others. There were always two sides to the story. While we've just spent some time learning about the events from the great city's point of view, within the pages of the saga, I'll provide not only two, but three points of view. The reader learns more about the accounts from the Watcher people a little later on within the pages of the book. A completely different view is presented in Book 2, where we'll meet the remaining inhabitants of the fallen city of Avalozon. For today, we'll conclude with a few details from Book 1. Next time, we'll explore the history left behind at the fallen city of Avalozon and find out what happens to the survivors. Beyond our initial review of the historical context known as the time of Yonan Bo, we'll then follow him into a seer's vision of the past to witness firsthand the actual details of the events leading up to the battles and take a look at the tactical maneuverings from both sides. For now, back to another set of eyes. Historical context and the prophecy from the view of the Watcher people. The sources indicate that the conflict between the great city's ancestors and Avalozon has been deep roots connected to the ancient prophecies and rulers. Ancient rulers and bannings. The first drawing of the walls of the Watcher people caves shows the ruler named Babette and his two twin sons, Azon and Navu. Azon was a seer who could see into the past, present, and the future. Navu and the priest feared Azon's gifts and initiated the first banning, exiling Azon and his followers. Azon was the creator of the founder of the city of Avalozon. Navu remained, and his ancestors created the great city. The prophecy. Nikor of the Watcher people recounts the prophecy foretelling a time of conflict and chaos, starting after the city's collapse, and the people are ravaged by untamed beasts and the environmental disasters. Father Chaos will fight Lu for the last time. This prophecy is known before the war started. The Travelers. Before the great city was built and the wars began, the ancestors of the great city people were known as the Travelers, moving between locations and setting up sites. The wars then happened and the great city was built. The older weapons used by the Watcher people who live up within the mountains are relics dating from the wars or from the people who originally settled there. The Watcher people's history shows they moved up into the higher mountains prior to the wars. The Watcher people caves contain drawings showing of the city of Avalozon making war against various groups on the mountain pathway, suggesting a time before the great city existed. Watcher people's perspective. The Watcher people are descendants of the people from both Avalozon and the great city, who fled the sickness of war before the final collapse of Avalozon. They continue to share the stories of the past, even as the great city stopped emphasizing them. They wintered in caves and saw the collapse of Avalozon. And here where we will end the first of the Great War series. There are some highlights from Book 1 when the walls crumbled down. I can't wait for the next episode where we'll finish up with the knowledge passed down within these pages of the second book, The Dreamer. As always, if you've enjoyed this content, please leave a like, comment below. Or go ahead and join the adventure and pick up your own copy of the books available on Amazon, paperback or ebook. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye now.